on, Mad Dantus. It's wild. The true king of the pirates said, "Can OP09 Buggy be the answer in these thriller slop times?" I mean, maybe. Who knows?
It's fucking doable, y'all. I don't know how I did it. It's fucking doable. We can beat Purple Enel. Oh my god. This and make it so this. However, this is only 5. Go ahead and block that. And that's it. Buggy wins it, baby. Holy shit, get fucked. Oh my god. Like, this one's not even fair. You just bottom deck all the crocodiles and he's just screwed. He still has 3 life. He just gave up. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bugster channel. Today we're going to be discussing the OP16 meta and the fact that Buggy, OP09, might legitimately be playable. This is going to be a big video. We're going to be talking about a lot. We're going to be talking about every single leader that's in the meta right now. We'll kind of pull up some different stats and kind of what to expect, what to play, how to play Buggy in this new meta, and yeah. So, to start, I saw some of your comments in the last video with the counters OP16 teach video. You guys were asking for the deck list. Well, here it is. There is 2 deck lists. This is not the exact one I was running. The other one I was running in that video was this one. As you can see, we have the crocodiles here. I've been testing with this new the Buggy OP09 test where we replaced the 3 crocodiles for 3 of these Alvitas. And I'll kind of talk about what she does real fast. So this Alvita is mostly for Goofy and Purple Enel. She's a 4-cost, 2,000 power, which is not great, 1,000 counter. On play, you may trash 1 card from hand. Place one of your opponent's characters with 4,000 base power or less, and up to one of your opponent's characters with base cost of 3 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. Now, this is really good for Goofy because usually it'll establish multiple bodies in a single turn, and we will be doing the same while also bouncing both of their bodies. So what you'll ideally do is you'll play the Croc Hawk into her if they have way too many bodies on board, bouncing both of those bodies while trashing 1 card in hand. We might be saying, well, you're trashing a lot of cards in hand. Well, that's where the Mr. 3 Galdino and then the Mohi and Kabuji come in. Usually before, Buggy had a big problem with trashing cards, especially when you got up to the 10-drop Buggy turns where you're tapping 5, trashing a card to play a Buggy. But now instead of having to do this twice, we can actually save a Buggy. Instead, on your 9-don turn or your 10-don turn, you can tap 4, playing this guy, freezing a 9-cost, drawing 2 cards, trashing 1 card, and then playing the Buggy. So you're still hand neutral for the most part. You're just minusing 1 card that turn, while bouncing a body back to the bottom of the deck, establishing a 12k body, and then also freezing a 9-cost, which is really, really good. The Mohi and Kabuji also, we run 3 of the Dracula Mihawks and 3 of the Mohi and Kabujis. This is just for options for the Buggy. It depends on what you want to do. If your hand size is just big enough where you could do the Mohi and Kabuji, usually I'll play this. However, if you need a blocker against some matchups, maybe the Dracula Mihawk is better. It's just an option of, okay, do I want to draw more cards or do I want to establish a blocker? While this guy is draw 2, trash 1, this is just a draw 2 straight up. Usually what you'll try to do is you'll have 8 cards in hand when you're going to play this combo, because you'll trash a card to get to 7, you'll play the Buggy to get to 6, and then you'll play the Mohi and Kabuji, meaning you'll have 5 in hand, then you'll draw 2 more, so then you're back to 7. So you're only minusing 1 card that turn. And also, if you're in a matchup where you don't need these big blocker Buggies, you could just trash these all day long. Or if you already have the promo Buggy on field, you don't need 2, you can just trash that as well. But yeah, anyway, so this is the new list that I'm testing. We're going to go ahead and go through it real fast one more time. So Mr. 3, I'm going to go through it really quick. It's not going to be because this video might be a little long. The Mr. 3 is just a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 1,000 counter. I'm not going to say the cost and counter anymore unless it's relevant for maybe these 4 costs that jump to 5s. But he's just a top 4 search, cross-skilled or Baroque works except for Mr. 3, so you won't be able to search for this guy. But everything else in the deck is searchable, and you bottom deck the rest. Alvita, 4 cost, 2,000 power, trash 1 card, and then bottom deck a 4,000 power or less, and then a 3 cost or less base. Really, really good. We have the Mr. 3, which, I mean, everybody's running this. Trash this character, draw 2 cards, and a 9 or less cannot attack until the end of the opponent's next end phase. Alvita here, she will jump to a 5 cost if you have 2 base cost 5 or higher on the field. So if you have a Buggy and a Mohi and Kabuji, she will become a 5 cost, which is needed for the 10-drop Buggy. She's a draw 3, trash 2. Kabuji is a 6k base on your opponent's turn, and he's a blocker. Same thing, he'll gain +5 or +1 cost to get to a 5 cost and blocker. Just remember, he does not become a blocker until you have 2 base cost 5 or higher. Just if you're going to play locals and stuff, the sim obviously will stop you from blocking with this guy. But if you are on locals, make sure that you have 2 base cost 5 or higher, so that includes anything from Kabuji upwards. Mohi is a 4 cost, 1,000 power. If you have 2 or more characters, base cost, same thing. Same thing as Kabuji, he gains +1 cost and blocker. However, instead of being a 6k on your opponent's turn, if you block with him and he dies, you can draw a card. So this the on KO. This make sure you only have 3 or less cards in hand though. Usually you want to be putting the Moki down if you know you're gonna go to 3 or less. Sometimes this can save you the game, making you draw into a 2k to get out of a 7k attack that would like kind of end the game. So Moki's kind of like an end game blocker that's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna have to pitch all the cards in my hand. I can block with Moki to get out of 1 attack and then draw a card. He will also become a 5 cost. Kabaji here cannot be killed in battle if there's a Buggy or Moki on play. So this counts. This counts. So basically any Buggy or Moki card, it just has to be one, not one or the other, or not both, just one. If there's a Buggy or a Moki in play, he cannot be KO'd in battle. Very, very good into Zoro. Directly Mihawk, he's a 7k blocker. On play, draw 2 cards and trash 1 card. Mohi and Kabaji, we just talked about him. He's a 7k 6 cost. If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. Buggy, obviously everybody knows about this one. This character cannot attack. If your leader is Buggy, all 3 and 4 cost characters on your field and the opponent's field cannot attack. On play, play a 6 cost cross-skilled type character or less from your hand. Crocodile Mihawk, classic, 8 cost 7k. Draw 2 cards and then trash 1 card from your hand. Then play 1 cross-skilled type character with a cost of 4 or less. Once per turn, if your cross-skilled type character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may trash 1 card from your hand instead. So anti-removal and lets you play a smaller body like any of these here, including the Albedo over here. This will not count because he's not cross-skilled. Next, we have the Buggy, key piece. He's a 10 cost 12k. On play, return 1 of your opponent's characters to the bottom of the other's deck. Then if you do not control 5 characters with a cost of 5 or more, so that means your whole field, including this Buggy, have to be 5 costs or higher, you bottom deck this Buggy as well. This one's the same thing, except for instead of bottom decking a character, it's just he's a massive blocker. But same thing if you do not control 5 or more characters with a cost of 5 or higher, you bottom deck this guy as well. And then cross guild is just a top 4 search, very similarly to Mr. 3 Galdino, except you cannot search Baroque Works, which doesn't really matter because we don't have the Crocodile in this list anymore. So you can search any cross guild and then bottom deck the rest. And then the triggers activate this card's main effect. So super simple like rundown of this list. The other list that I was running this Crocodile, which he is a 7 cost 7k. Up to play 1 cross skill type or Baroque Works type with a cost of 5 or less from your hand. This is useful for playing into the Mr. 3 Galdino. However, for the most part, I just usually save this guy for later in the game. Just because I had some comments that were asking about this. They were like, well, why don't you play the Crocodile into the Galdino? This is useful. However, most of the time I've noticed if you leave a Galdino on field, also he does not gain +1 cost, so if you slap down this promo Buggy, he will not be able to swing. If you play the Croc into the Galdino, into the Mr. 3, most of the time the opponent will make it their absolute priority to nuke this guy with abilities or whatever, because he's not cross-healed, so he's not saved by the Crocodile and Mihawk. They will nuke this dude so you don't get value out of it later. So either KOing him or bottom decking him or whatever. So ideally what you want to be doing is waiting to your 9 or 10 Dawn turns to then have a bunch of Mr. 3s in your hand, freezing those massive bodies and bottom decking the other one. This also leaves 1 Dawn up for whatever you want to do. Usually I just stack it to leader. What you can do is you can add the new Prisoners of Riding event, which makes your Buggy gain plus 4,000 power. I got a comment about this. It's pretty good because if you are on your 9 Dawn or 10 Dawn turns, what you can do, like I said, is you do the Mr. 3 for 4. You tap 5, trash 1 for the Buggy, so you freeze a 9 cost and a bottom deck a whatever cost you want, and then you have 1 Dawn remaining for a 4k counter. The only problem is that this is not searchable with any searcher in the game right now, which is okay because we already mill and cycle so much with Buggy. However, I will say it's hard to kind of justify where I want this to go, because even in the test list that I'm running right now, I don't want to get rid of any of this. The only card I might get rid of is the Mohi and Kabaji. Maybe do 2 Prisoners of Riding and then 4 Mihawks. But I'll test that a little bit more as we go through. But anyway, yeah, this is the list. So this is what I'm currently running. I recommend this. So once again, UI Nami teach the Buggy, this Buggy absolutely destroy them. The Massive Blocker Buggy is also really good into stuff that has anti-removal, so if you're playing against Ace or any of the cards that like, they drop that Marco or anything else, you can just start slapping out this promo Buggy to kind of have a huge blocker they can't get around. So there is 2 options here. You definitely want to have both of these just in case. If you only run the bottom deck Buggy, you're kind of fucked, because if you go into a deck that has anti-removal, you're just like, well, cool, like my massive body that's like kind of my way to win the game is gone. Because the next biggest body we run is a 7k, at least that's swingable because the Buggy can't swing, which is not great into some leaders that are very big. You want to be dropping these Buggies as fast as possible. Yeah, so Alvida's for Goofy and Purple Enel. Obviously, you can just nuke 2 bodies while establishing the anti-removal. Into Purple Enel, which we'll talk about later, I'm kind of going to like step through how to play into each leader in a separate like section in this video. But the Croc Mihawk into the Alvida is a crazy play into Purple Enel, and then also establishing these massive blockers is insane. So I like this list a lot. I think this is the best it's going to get, honestly. I don't think it's going to get any better than this. And yeah, obviously do some testing. Let me know what you guys think. I want to try to run this Prisoners of Writing event, but once again, I think just having the double option for the promo buggy, where you either want to draw more cards in hand while still establishing a 7k body, or you want to draw just 1 more in hand, making it so he's neutral, and having a massive blocker is also alright. I think it just depends on the matchup you're going into, because sometimes this Mihawk is pointless. They're just going to rest it and go for game. But yeah, so anyway, we're going to kind of cut over to the section where I talk about each leader, kind of how to play against them, how I've been playing against them, and what you guys should be doing. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next part. Alright, so we're in our first matchup of this video. We're going to talk about Teach, what you're kind of looking for, what you're trying to do, and honestly, this matchup's super chill. If you go into a matchup like this at locals, you're most of the time gonna win, unless they pull some crazy shit out their ass and like you didn't really think a couple sets ahead. But I'd be very surprised. So I would say in this matchup here, I have this little drawing thing over here, so hopefully that'll help a little bit. We have some pretty good cards. We have a combo starter. We have the Croc Mihawk, and we also have something to play off the Croc Mihawk. We have a Searcher. We have something for the promo Mihawk, the promo Buggy later, and we also have the Mr. 3, which is really good. The cards you're ideally trying to see in this matchup is the promo Buggy, the Mr. 3, and then the 10-drop Buggy, the bottom deck one. If you can get most of those cards in your hand as early as possible, you'll be chilling. Except for like the promo, you just need one of those. But I would say because we do have the Searcher right here, because we do have the Mr. 3, and then because we do have a combo starter and combo piece, I would say this is a pretty good hand against Teach. So we'll go ahead and keep this. And like once again, I'm just going to run through this real quick. It's not going to be anything crazy. I'm not going to play the full game. But we're going to go ahead and search top 3 or top 4. We're going to go ahead because we can't grab the Mr. 3, which kind of sucks because if you read him, we can't grab other than Mr. 3. And because he is Mr. 3, we can't grab that guy. So we're going to go ahead and grab the promo Buggy, which is also really good. And we'll end the turn. So I would say on Teach's ability here, he's just going to play Vasco Shot and the turn. We're on our 3 Dawn. So what we're going to do is we will do 8 lead. He's probably not going to do the redirect. He'll just take this and then end the turn. He's on his 4 Dawn turn. So what he'll probably do is just to kind of prove a point, he'll play the Devon, right? So the Devon can match one of our opponent's character's power. So very similarly to the, I think it was the Mr. 2. Very similarly to the Mr. 2. Very strong. So if we have a massive Buggy on field, she can become a 12k. Very cool, right? And you might be saying, well, okay, shoot, she's a cost +1 now because it's like, you know, but it's only on the opponent's turn. So if we do this, let's go ahead and let's trash the Alvida because she's kind of pointless. We'll play the promo Buggy into the drop the Mihawk, and then we'll trash the Mihawk. And then we'll swing 5, and then he'll just like give us a, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? He'll trash a car with a trigger. He'll trash a Burgess, and then he'll oh, I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, so I'm just trying to prove my point here. As you can see, if we go to the Devon, the swing, she can't because she's a 4. And because the promo Buggy shuts off the 3s and 4s, it makes it very hard. Now what we'll do, so basically what the board state right now is it looks like this. So we have a 7k, we have a 7k body, and then he has something to rest that 7k body. So we'll continue. I'm just going to like kind of speed run. We'll just kind of end the turn a bunch until we're both on 10 Dawn. Just to kind of prove a point. So now we're on our, he's on his 10 Dawn turn, I believe, right? Or we're on our 10 Dawn turn. We'll get in the turn when we're done with Teacher's turn. So he'll probably do Zihaha into the massive Teach. We'll take a life. And then he'll activate the main and nullify, whatever, in the turn. Obviously, we would have a bigger board by this, so we'll probably just play this out, trash this, and we'll play this guy. We'll end the turn twice. So let's say he just Ziha'd, right? So currently our board state is, so this, he just played this last turn. So now what we're sitting at is we have 3 actual swingable bodies on the field, and he has 1 massive Teach that he just played. And this is nullified, and then our leader ability just came back because he nullified it on the previous turn. So this is this cannot be swung with, right? We're just gonna say that he cannot be swung with because he's nullified. So what we can do is, because his 3 and 4 cost bodies are all shut off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to trash this blocker buggy because it's very pointless in this matchup. Playing the massive buggy, bottom decking that. He has no anti-removal, so now our board state looks more like this. He has no bodies that he can swing with, except for maybe a Vasco shot or something small, maybe a Shiryu. And this is it. And let's say, like, even if, let's say he had a Shiryu, let's just go ahead and say, like, there's a Shiryu card, like, right here, right? We can, like, let's treat the Vasco shot as a Shiryu, okay? Let's just treat this as a Shiryu. What you can do is, even if, like, let's say he has that Shiryu on field, and let's say we really don't want that Shiryu to attack, what we could have done is, instead of getting rid of that Mr. 3, we could have played the Mr. 3, this Mr. 3 first. We'll just put him here instead, and we'll make it so that the Shiryu can't attack. So now he has no swingable bodies, and let's just say we still had the Alvita on board or whatever, or the Kabaji blocker on board, and we have a full board. And when we pass, our board looks like this. And he's fucked. Like, there's nothing he can do. Even if, let's say, he drops another teach and he does the leader ability, he nullifies this and this, and then he swings, whatever, we block. Guess what we do again? Gone. And now our board state looks like this. As you can see, he's only really nullifying one body at a time, and even if he does, we can do it again. Like, if we absolutely need to, we can bottom deck Buggy again, or we can play that Mr. 3 that lets us freeze a 9 cost or less. Which, as you can see, every single body on his field is going to be 9 cost or less. Even this Martial D Teach that will become a 9. The only thing that is not a 9 is, of course, that massive 10 drop Teach, but we just got rid of 2 of them. He's not going to be able to get any more than that. If he does, he's going to be milling through his deck way too fast. And he's going to run into a Crocodile issue where he runs out of gas. So this matchup's super easy. Once again, just make sure you're keeping their board under control. They're going to rest your shit. So, like, once again, the Vasco shot would kill or not kill it, but it would rest the Mihawk here, so he'd be rested. But it's like, who cares? Because he has to play these massive bodies that are going to allocate most of his Dawn. And even if he nukes it, like, I mean, guess what we're going to do next turn? You know what I mean? Like, we're going to get, like, let's say he kills it, right? Oh, no. Where is it? No, don't click that. Bye. Like, you know what I mean? So now our board state just continues to get stronger while his continues to get worse. And he has no removal protection. None that I know of that he can run in Tekken anyway. So super strong. Even if they double Borso you, which they absolutely can do. Let me see if I can. I don't think I'll be able to get the double Borso. Maybe. Sorry, this new, like, little whiteboard thing is new to me. Yeah, but, like, even the Borso, they can't really search with it. So it's just, this matchup's pretty easy. Once again, your key pieces are the Mr. 3, or the Buggy, the promo Buggy, these bottom deck Buggies, and then that Mr. 3 that hopefully I can draw into here in a second. Maybe. He's somewhere in here. There he is. So the Mr. 3, sorry. So the Mr. 3, obviously, because we're going to be freezing any of his 9-drop bodies or less, which is everything in the deck except for the Massive Teach. We have the Promo Buggy, which is going to shut off all of his 3 and 4 costs. So the Jesus Burgess, the other Burgess, and the Devon, all of it. Yeah, the Devon here. And then also the 10-drop Buggies. I would say at least grab 1 Buggy if you can, 1 promo, because he has nothing to remove it. Especially if you play the Croc Mihawk next, which you most likely will. Grab every single bottom deck Buggy you can. I would say if you search and you find one every single time, I would at least get 3. If you find 3 off rip, amazing. I'm not totally sure you would need the 4th, but definitely try to find it. If you're stuck in a rock between a hard place, or between a rock and a hard place, sorry. Like let's say you search and you're like, shit, like in this case, like let's say I have like no 2Ks in hand and you're like, okay, cool, do I grab the Kabaji or do I grab the Buggy? I would say Teach is going to be hitting your life pretty hard, so I would base that off of how much life you have. If you have 4 or more life, grab the bottom deck Buggy. If you're running pretty low, like he could see, haha, it could be pretty scary, I would grab a 2K. But definitely make sure you're grabbing as many of these bottom deck Buggies as you can, because they are absolutely essential to you winning this game. I would say at least grab 1 Buggy. You don't need any more than 1. They have nothing to really remove it. And then obviously you can't really grab this, you can't search for it, but definitely do not mill this. If you search top 3 with like an Alvida or something, like you're doing the Crocodile Hawk into the Alvida, and you're like, okay, cool, I drew 3 cards and I have like 2 Mr. 3s. Keep these for sure, because if you can, it's a lot better to only use 9 Dawn on your 10 Dawn turn, allocating 1 Dawn to your leader to swing 6, than to bottom deck Buggy twice. Because technically, this is going to be shutting off a 9 cost, so you're still shutting off a body, drawing 2 cards, instead of doing leader ability, trash a card, play a card, leader ability, trash a card, play a card, which can be strong, but I mean, like, you're never going to have a hand like this actually in game. So, yeah, definitely try to grab all these bottom deck buggies that you can. And yeah, I would say that's the kind of essentials to teach. It's nothing too crazy. Once again, just making sure you're playing off this promo, making sure you're playing off the Mr. 3 as many times as you can, and then also making sure that you're grabbing as many of these bottom deck buggies, then just, you know, slap them down and get rid of everything. If your board looks like this towards the end of the game, you've basically won. There's nothing you can do. I would definitely say don't get baited into playing, like, this is like the last piece of advice I'll give you on teach. Don't get baited into playing your buggies too early. And what I mean by that is, this teach here is far scarier than this teach. Let's say we have no buggies on field, right? And he plays this teach and like he like grabs a Shiryu or something and puts in life. You might be kind of like inclined to bottom deck this buggy. Once again, you're gonna be on your 9 Dawn or your 10 Dawn turn at this point when he plays this off. So you will have the full board to play off whatever you want. Be careful when you play your buggies, because let's say this is like a buggy and I play the buggy and I bottom deck that guy, right? And then like I have 3 buggies left in hand. If he the following turn, each turn, just starts slapping these guys out, if you can't get rid of every single one of them, you might be in a scary spot. Definitely just don't get baited. Once again, the Mr. 3 can take care of this. The Mr. 3 cannot take care of this. Use your buggy for this if you can. If you see him searching for this, always have a buggy in hand. Basically, like anytime they search or anytime they draw anything that they have to reveal it, keep count of how many teaches they've shown you. If there's 2 or more, have 2 buggies in hand. If there's 3 or more, have 3 in hand, because they will be playing them off non-stop, and you need to bottom deck these things. It will also be extremely annoying because this card right here kind of keeps him alive. If he can't really get rid of this, if you get rid of this, he kind of gets fucked. Another thing I will say, last piece of advice: if he has a bunch of 3, 4, and a bunch of 3 and 4 costs on field, he can nullify this buggy with the teach. So just be careful. If you see him playing off like a bunch of Burgesses and like, let's say like his board looks like this. So he'll play like this Burgess. He'll play off like this Burgess. He plays like let's say he has like a Devon. So like, once again, you're like, okay, cool. He can't swing with any of this shit. If he plays this, or what is it? It's this one. And he nullifies this. Now these can swing. So like, once again, this will be a 12. So just be careful. Definitely, like, if you see him loading up a board with all these like little smaller bodies, definitely kind of build your board in a way to keep that. Like once again, old OP09 teach could do that, because once like this card was running OP09 teach. If you see him doing this, the answer to that question is just okay, more buggy. Like if you see him pulling off this crazy play, I don't think I have another promo in my hand. I think I trashed them all. Yeah, I think I trashed them all. But anyway, like if you see him building off this board and you're like, okay, cool, he's gonna nullify this buggy, just play another one. He can only do it once. Obviously, like he can't do the nullify. So it's just like once per turn. So he has to do it on that turn. So like, definitely, if you see him doing this, just play 2 promo buggies and then just start slapping out the rest. Yeah, I don't think this is a very hard matchup. I think it's very doable. And we'll move on to whoever I decide next. So probably Goofy or Ace or whatever. So see you guys in the next part. All right, so we're going to talk really quickly about the OP16 Green Blue Luffy. I would say our kind of saving grace in this matchup, very similarly to Purple Enel, is going to be that Alvida. So we're going to go ahead, because this hand's not the worst, we're going to go ahead and look. So this Alvida right here, and I'll kind of just do a quick rundown of what she will look like. So ideally, like on Goopy, he's going to have just a fuck ton of bodies that he just gets off for free, because he can just resend all this Dawn, doing all this shit, and then playing that, and then he can play that, and then he plays this. He just plays a ton of bodies, right? So what we can do is we can look for the Croc, maybe. Go ahead and just grab whatever. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere. Sure, we'll just kind of show off her abilities. So usually you'll play Croc into this, but what you can do is you can then trash a card, and you can bottom deck a base power of 4,000 and a 3 cost. So we're gonna go ahead and nuke this Ivankov, or actually not the Ivankov because the promo will shut off. We're gonna nuke the Karai, and we're gonna nuke the other one, which is really, really strong. As you can see, this is kind of where the Alvida saves us, because he can spit out a lot of little bodies that gain a lot of value. But if we can do the Croc and then like the Buggy into that and just that kind of stuff, shutting off that 3 and 4 costs, we can do this. He can play off some of these bodies, maybe no resting that. We can do the leader ability, setting 2 Dawn is active. We'll play Croc into this, replaying that. And then he doesn't have anything that's 1 Dawn. Let's end the turn. You can just get kind of crazy and just like, okay, cool, like the 3 and 4 costs are shut off. We'll go ahead and play a blocker for 6. And then we can go ahead and like just tap 2, and we'll just say bottom deck the, like, that's where we kind of get like better. Goofy's a little hard because it's just like you need to control his board, but for most leaders it's really hard to do so. But as you can see, 4 costs shut off. A lot of 4 costs in the deck. All the 2 costs can be hit by that Alvida, so definitely try to keep her in hand. I would say in this matchup, what you're really looking for is not as much importance on the 10-drop Buggy as in the Teach matchup, and that one is extremely important. I would say you need at least just 1 in hand for the unblockable Boa Hancock, because she's really, really strong. But definitely keep one or 2 of these Buggies in hand. You're like, I would say same thing as Teach, look for at least 1 of these, and then the Alvida and then the Croc Mihawk. Definitely you want to be finding this as much as you possibly can. Only thing is, once again, this Alvida will not gain +1 cost, so definitely play your cards right and when you're playing her. Maybe even on your, like, let's say you have a full board, instead of doing the Mr. 3 to stall a body, what you can do is just straight up play the Alvida for 4. Getting rid of 2 bodies, let's say the Mr. 3 and then the Ivankov and the Mr. 1. And then you can tap 5, trash 1, and then play a massive Buggy, and let's just say this was a Boa Hancock, getting rid of the Boa Hancock. So pretty good. This one's going to be pretty short. I know the Teach one was pretty long just because I was kind of going through the gameplay, but definitely the Alvida and then the Croc Mihawk combo is insane. Definitely try to play the Buggy into one of the blockers if you can, just because it makes it a little bit harder for him to get around it. All of his bodies usually get up to 6. If you can have a 7k blocker, it makes it a lot better. And then the massive body, he usually plays the Boa Hancock. I would definitely say in this matchup, keep his board small. If you can, nuke his board, because while Buggy is great, if he can do the restand event, you just lose. We don't have enough hand size to really counter out of that. And you want to make sure his board is small, so he has to keep playing shit from hand. And if you keep nuking it and building a massive board, hitting his life or hitting his bodies, you'll be fine. So once again, massive board control. Try to keep the board control as high as you possibly can. Alvida, Croc, 1 promo at least, and then 1 bottom deck Buggy at least. If you want to, this matchup also the promo blocker Buggy. I'll try to see if I can grab him, unless he's already in my trash. The promo blocker Buggy is also extremely good. Looking for him right now. We'll kind of just play cards to draw and maybe try to draw into him. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. I'm looking for him. I'm sure I'll find him in this search. Really? Okay, cool. We'll just keep searching then. But the promo blocker Buggy is really good. Definitely would recommend looking for him if you can. Yeah, there he is. If you can play this guy, it also makes it extremely hard, because once again, if he plays the Boa Hancock that's unblockable, that sucks. But if you bottom deck it and build a 12k blockable body, he is screwed. He can't do anything. All of his bodies are too small to get around to 12. And same kind of thing where like Purple Zoro, or not, Purple Enel, sorry. Purple Enel really struggles into red blue ace, or all them when they play that Zoro that like bumps them up to an 8 or a 9. Or even like Roger. This is kind of the same thing. You spit out these massive bodies that can't really get around, and then you swing like 12, and there's nothing you can really do except for block. And once again, this 4-cost body can't attack, this 4-cost body can't attack, that kind of stuff. So definitely, once again, board control is the main thing in the game. Do not let him play off this event. If he plays off this restand event, you are almost absolutely cooked unless your life is jacked. Which it most likely will not be, because he's putting on a lot of pressure in the very beginning. You need to make sure his board is very tiny, because if his board starts getting out of control and there's no way to really control it, he will just restand everything and then hit you again. While they are very small swings, you don't have a ton in hand because you're doing the buggy ability and everything else, and you're going to get fucked. So once again, just board control all the way. Definitely make sure you're playing that the Croc Mihawk into the Alvida, this one, to kind of kill 2 bodies of your choosing, because once again, it's kind of everything in the deck can get hit by the Alvida. And then promo buggy at least 1, bottom deck buggy at least 1, and then if you can, not the end of the world if you don't, I would definitely say it's just kind of nice to have that massive buggy that he can't really get around. But yeah, so that's it for Goofy. This matchup's just like, once again, it's like Purple and Enel. It's like, can you control the board, yes or no? And then do they draw the tits? If they do, you kind of just lose because they're just going to put on a ton of pressure. But if you can control the board, you can control it well, you will actually have a chance against this leader, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so we'll move on to the next leader in the meta, and I believe this is going to be Purple and Enel. So we'll see you guys in the next part. So very similar way to Green-Blue Luffy, Purple and Enel is very much you want to keep the board under control. I would say the main differences in Buggy that we usually don't run is that this Buggy right here is pointless. The 6 cost 10k power Enel cannot be removed from the field. So this Buggy, like if we could remove it, this Buggy would be perfect. But because we can't, he's kind of useless. The only bodies that you want to run this Buggy for is like Senior Pink, maybe like the Sanji or the Reiju, but besides that, it's kind of useless. So what we're really looking for as Buggy is this promo Buggy is useless unless they play the Holly, but even then, all of his ohms are gonna get power. So I would only really play the promo Buggy into the Mihawk if you're just trying to establish bodies. And the reason why, it's like, well, like what's the point of establishing bodies if we can't play that 10 cost? It's for the where is it? I would say we're looking for him. You want to find this blocker Buggy for sure. Blocker Buggy is always going to be very good into matchups that don't have anti-removal. So once again, similarly to like Red Ace, I know he has that Marco that's very anti-removal. But in this matchup, the anti-removal is permanent. He like in Red Ace, he has to trash a card and do all this stuff. He has like minus at least a 2k from hand. To kind of keep his board state alive with the Marco. With Enel, he never has to worry about anti-removal. Like it's just like, okay, cool. Like like my massive body Enel, it's kind of like the main player of this deck. It's just never gonna get removed. So you definitely want to be looking for this Buggy. I would definitely say the main thing you want to be finding for sure, without a doubt, is you want to be finding this Alvida. So same thing as Green-Blue Luffy, and then you also want to be finding if I can find him, you want to be finding the Croc Hawk if you can. Let me see if I can just draw into him. Yeah, here he is. So the ideal players here, very similarly to Green-Blue Luffy, except maybe a little bit more emphasis on this Buggy instead of the bottom deck Buggy, is Alvida, Crocodile Mihawk, and then Buggy, the blocker one. You want to have 2 of these at least. Get 2 of these, please. He will run El Thor, which is this one up here, which will allow him to KO a 3000 power or less. He also has a bunch of shit like Divine Departure and Very, which are not very, Lightning Kitten, which will minus 1k. You want to keep your board strong. If you run into an instance where he tries to use El Thor twice and you don't have the double Croc Mihawk, he's going to put you so behind. Try to find 2 of these as fast as you can. Try to rip the Crocodile Mihawk into a blocker, or into like the 6k blocker, or try to run the Crocodile Mihawk into the Alvida or the other Alvida, like this one here. Those are kind of your main kind of key points. I would say the promo Buggy into the blocker or the Kabuji Mohi is like decent, but you definitely want to be running way more of these. That's how you win the game. If you can't El Thor your little kind of blocker dudes, you can block out of stuff and kind of keep yourself alive. 100% useful. And if you start slapping down these promo Buggies, he is fucked. Obviously it's a challenge to get to that point, but if you can get to that point, there's nothing he can do. He can rest it, sure, but it costs so much because it's a 10 cost 12k that he's not really going to have much more Dawn to allocate, and then you can just keep hitting him like a truck. I would definitely say there's a little bit less emphasis on building your board as big as possible to make the Buggy stick in this matchup. Definitely still do it, but I would say this is one of those matchups where you want to be putting on pressure so he doesn't have a shit ton of cards in hand. So he really has to think about what he has to do. And yeah, but once again, board control. Try to keep the board control as best as you can. I know it's a little tough. Try to find these Crocodile Mihawks, maybe a Buggy if you can, and then the Alvida is also extremely useful because you can just continue to nuke his board just like in Goofy. Yeah, this is pretty short. This matchup's pretty rough, but I think with the Alvida and these 3 cards here, I think it's very doable. I would say the Kabuji is also pretty useful here, just because he's a 5k. He's a 5k unkillable in combat anyway, especially against, like, he can't be KO'd in battle, so he has to do the L-Thor into it. But if you have both of these, you're fine, and he can't swing into it, so you just have these free 5ks all day long. But yeah, so that's kind of it for Purple Enel. Very similar to Goofy. Just build your board, keep it under control with the Alvida, and try to make sure his hand size is a little low, keep making him pitch events, and make sure you're counting how many events he's going through. It's a very big thing, because if he uses all of his outdoors, most NLs only really run 1 senior pink. If he uses all of his outdoors, you don't really have to worry about something getting KO'd by the Croc Mihawk like ability, or like you don't have to worry about like trashing card for the Croc Mihawk ability, and you can just swing a little bit heavier. But yeah, so definitely I think this matchup's pretty tough. I think it's very doable. Just once again, just keep that board in control. So I'll see you guys for the next part. We'll probably cover UI Nami next. So now we're in UI Nami. This is not the best list in the world for UI Nami. I know there's a better, more annoying list, but I'll get another drink. I would say this matchup is very similar to Teach, just maybe a little bit harder, because once again, she runs the where is it? I'm gonna try to look for it. She runs that Nami that is stupid. I'm just gonna try to, yeah, into it. Choose none. So basically this Nami is a 5 cost, so it gets out of the Promo Buggy's ability. We have to take a life if we're at 3 or more life, and it makes it like, so they have to, like, they can play a 6k. I will say that most Namis are running Thriller Slop, which is amazing for us, because we can just do this into, I don't know, like, let's just say that's a blocker. And then now if they play any Thriller Slop from life or from trash or whatever, they can't really do much, right? Like, this cannot be swung with. I would say another card you need to be careful for is the Nico Robin, the Teach, and then the Gecko Moria. But once again, that's what we run the blocker buggy and the bottom deck buggy. You want to be, I would say, out of everything in the game, you want to be bottom decking the Nico Robin for sure, because once again, you can't really KO it, you can't swing into it. These two, at least, I'd be a little bit more lenient, just because you can swing 12 into 10. Makes it a little bit easier to get around. However, I will say, if they start dropping the Edward Newgates, which I don't think I can find, maybe. Anyway, I know they run the Newgate. Definitely bottom deck that as well. So same thing with Teach. Just kind of make sure you're kind of, if they're searching for anything, just keep track of what they have in hand, and then definitely react to it. So keep a buggy in hand. Do not play it off early. Always go, okay, cool. They play, like, let's say they play a Teach and they do whatever, right? The following turn, it's like, let's say, do I have any combo starters? I don't, but let's just say, like, I play the buggy, I have a full board, right? Then you'd bottom deck it, right? So that kind of thing. Never play it too early, because you want to getting absolute maximum value out of this. Similarly, Nami takes a while to get set up. If you can also take a while to get set up and get your board in a perfect spot, you can really start hitting her like a truck, and there's nothing she can do. Just remember that she can trash your card and get up to 7k base for the rest of the turn, as long as a Dawn is added, of course. But yeah. Another thing is, I don't think many Namis run Grav Blade, but just have at least one. I would say the Promo Buggy for sure. Definitely have the Croc Mihawk if you can. Extremely useful. Definitely have this guy up and available. So same, I would say it's just classic Buggy gameplay. Promo Buggy, Crocodile Mihawk, and then just start slapping out these 10 drops and getting rid of everything in their deck. But yeah, so similar to Teach, just maybe a little bit less, I would say a little bit less emphasis on, like, okay, count how many 10 drops he has in hand, because obviously Nami runs a little bit of a different setup. But I would say just definitely keep pressure up. Always have something to have the Croc Mihawk and then the Buggy on field, just to protect it. They don't have any removal that could kill this Buggy, but just to keep your boards, like, strong. And then later in the game, if you need to get rid of this Croc Mihawk, you can for more bigger bodies like the Buggy. Making sure on your 9 dot and 10 dot turns to use the Mr. 3 or the bottom deck Buggy and then another blocker Buggy or whatever, just to keep their board under control. This Alvida is useless, so just use it for counter, or if you need to, just trash it. Everything else I would say is pretty useful. But yeah, so this matchup's also, like, just once again similar to Teach, not too bad. Just make sure sometimes you can just get high rolled. I mean, that's what yellow does. Sometimes they will just drop like 3 of these back to back, and it sucks because now you're at like 2 life, and it's like, well, what the fuck? And they have all these bodies that they can swing with. So that's why I was kind of running Grab Blade in the past. But once again, the chances of that happening are pretty low, and especially when they get stronger. Nami doesn't really require too much brain power, so most of the time they're just going to start slapping out massive bodies that you're just going to get rid of and start swinging with. But yeah, so I think that's a pretty strong. Like, once again, this Mr. 3 will not be able to hit your 10 drop buggies, so as long as you continue to drop these guys, she can't really freeze too much. And the new gates, just make sure you're getting rid of those, and then always make sure to have a promo on field, because she's going to be playing off all this thriller slop onto her field all the time. So yeah, not too bad. And I'll see you guys for the next part. I'm not totally sure what leader I'll cover next, maybe Crocodile, but that one's also going to be very, very short. So this one's going to be extremely short. I'm not even going to walk through it. Well, I might, just really fast. So the only thing with Crocodile that makes it extremely hard for Crocodile players to really do anything is they have that Crocodile, right? They have the SEC. The only problem is we have the amazing ability to have the 10 drop buggy. So we're just gonna build a board real fast. So then, trash this, do this. I'll trash Alvita, do this. Oh my gosh, drew all the buggies. Let's do that. And the turn, we'll just like, I don't know, we'll just play, you know, that guy, and the turn, and the turn. Let's do this, and we'll just trash that, and a turn. Cool. So let's say it's on his 8 dawn turn, and he plays this, and he freezes this, and he does the whole thing where he like minuses 10, and then he trashes a card. He like, well, let's say he mills, trashes the card, brings it back, and then that kind of attack, right? The only problem is Crocodile cannot really search and bottom deck stuff. So if something's on the bottom, he's never getting it until he decks out. So guess what we do? It's gone. This matchup is abysmal for Crocodile. Oh my god, it's horrible. Even if you play the Sunday, you just bottom deck the Sunday, and then you just kind of swing into whatever smaller body they have. They will not be getting any of their massive bodies until it's too late. If you bottom deck all the Crocodiles, there's nothing they can do. Playing this matchup is horrendous. Like, it's really, really bad. Especially since we can just, like, let's say this Miss Valentine is a massive Miss Sunday. I mean, that's gone too. So, and then we have these massive bodies he can't deal with because they're too tall. So he has to do the Crocodile twice just to minus 10 and make it so this can't attack. So once again, this matchup's super, super easy. I would not be too surprised if you're winning this most of the time. Obviously, Crocodile has some tools, so don't turn your brain off like a yellow player and just kind of go, okay, cool, I'm just gonna play Buggy all day long and win. Like, no, like you can lose. Just make sure you're bottom decking all those like major important bodies, because once again, Croc can pull some stuff off and it's pretty cool. But just once again, if your board starts getting too big and there's nothing they can do, they're kind of fucked. They can only really deal with one body at a time. They're only really building one body at a time. And even with the Miss Sunday, they're building one body and then smaller bodies. If they have the Luffy, you can just bottom deck that too, and their leader will go back down to 5. So once again, super small. I like super small like tutorial. This matchup's not too hard. Definitely just remember they can do ground death. Like they can minus 10 to one of your blockers and ground death it later on to go for game. Just keep that in mind. But besides that, just bottom deck all the Crocodiles and you win. So yeah, all right, we'll go on to I'll kind of check I don't know what's next. We'll check the website and we'll see what's next on the field. So to kind of recap, this will be the final part. I just went through and watched the rest of those videos. I did make some like kind of comments I probably could have redone. I mean, it's early in the morning, but like for the most part, Buggy seems to actually be pretty playable in this meta. Of course, is he the best? No. Are you gonna get high rolled by Goofy and Enel sometimes? Yes. Are you gonna get fucked by maybe some other list, like maybe Ace, that's harder to pull off? Yes. You're still gonna lose. It's not like Buggy's the best. But he's very fun. He's actually playable, and because of this Alvita, because of the Mr. 3, because we have all these options, he actually does pretty well, especially against a lot of like the yellow slop. If you're really tired of Thriller Bark and like Thriller Slop kind of just like ruining your day, pick up OP09 Buggy, man. He's cheap as shit. You get all of this in the starter deck. I think you get 4 of these. You'll get, like, if let's say you buy 2, you'll have all of these, all of these, all of these, all of these. You get all of this, and then you also get the Searchers. Only things you won't have, of course, is the Alvita from EBO3, the OP16 Galdino. You won't have the promo blockers, and you won't have the Mohin Kabaji. But I mean, like, you literally have, I think it's almost like 40 cards, and you can just kind of substitute the rest for whatever you want. But once again, is Buggy the best? No. Am I going to say he's the best? Yes. But I think he's actually playable. I'm going to bring him to a tournament tonight as of July 8th. And yeah, we'll see how he does. I mean, once again, go through the videos, you know, like tear it apart. If I made any like missed comments or anything, feel free to leave a comment in the bottom, like saying like, hey, like this is not actually how this works, or maybe you spoke wrong here, and I probably did. Like once again, I was just flying through it way too fast. But like once again, I think Buggy actually has a chance. And I know, especially to a lot of just yellow. If you hate yellow, if you hate going against yellow in your locals, try Buggy. Once again, he's not going to win all the time. He's gonna get screwed sometimes. He's a leader from OP09. We are 8 sets behind almost now. In a month, we're going to be 8 sets behind. But he's still very viable, and I think he's very, very doable. And even if I believe all of his cards are set 3 and 4 and above, so we have a very long time before he's going to be cycled out. So I think we'll have until April of 2027, and then we have until April of 2028. So we have 2 more years of OP09 Buggy, which is a very, very long time. So I think Buggy's very doable. I want to see some more support for him, but I think as of right now, I think he's very fun. I think he kind of pisses off all those annoying ass decks that you might see at your locals. It's like, I would rather not play against this. Well, Buggy makes it very fun. And yeah, I mean, I would definitely say I recommend playing him. Like once again, if you have any comments or anything that you want to drop about all the little like kind of talking about all the different leaders, feel free. Once again, I'm not some One Piece master. I'm just a guy that likes to play Buggy a lot. So I go to locals a decent bit. I'm not the best. So if you have any comments or if you have any recommendations, feel free to drop them. I love kind of getting corrected in the comments, and like people are like please like talk about this instead, or that's not how that works. Because it also just makes me a better player too. But yeah, so once again, this was just a very short video about OP09 Buggy and the OP16 meta. Just kind of want to cover a couple leaders, go through the deck list that I'm running, and kind of get your guys' opinions, because I know a lot of you are asking for the deck lists. And I think Buggy actually has a shot. So I would definitely say if you're going to build a list, build this one, experiment some more. Let me know what you guys are running. And hopefully we can have Buggy win a regionals, take on the Worlds, guys. We're taking this guy to Worlds. If I see OP09 Buggy in Worlds, I've done my job. He is back on top, baby. He is won. That's all I care about. And I think it's very doable. Maybe it's gonna be hard, but I think as long as we kind of keep optimizing this deck, I think he might have a shot. So I'll see you guys in the next video. This one's gonna be a little long. So once again, if you find anything, any misspeak, like me misspeaking, or like maybe saying something wrong about what a card does, I'm not the best player in the world, feel free to drop a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.